They got into a real situation. Okay. Can y'all see that now? All right, so everybody can see this, but can you hear it? It's very low. So what we're looking at here, this is when Brian Steele is telling him in front of the jury that, hey, you know, I'm making the objection. So he's making the objection right here. And then the judge is about to get on him as if he did something wrong by making that objection.
You told me, you invited this conversation. I did. I asked you if you were ready. If you were ready, you say, yes, Judge, I'm ready. After you those two talks. Now, if you're not ready, then go ahead and just tell me you're not ready, and we'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and we'll figure out something else to do. But if you have any other basis, then tell me.
All right, so that's the big skinny on that one right there. It was very low, but pretty much Judge Glanville was saying what I just said. If you're not ready, you should have just said that, and we could have done this another time. You understand? And Brian Steele, you know, he got fired up after that. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get to the Brian Steele one here. Let's get to what Brian Steele said because it got rugged for him. It got rugged for him after that one. Thug is going to do 5 or 6 years without a conviction. Are you saying he's going to do that much time without a conviction because of how long this trial is taking? Or are you saying that you think he'll get lesser charges without the RICO? Let me know. Let me know what you're trying to say here. And for the people who I missed the comments, trust me, I will get back to them. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. All right, so here we go. Let's get into what Brian Steele said. Now, this is Brian Steele coming up to the podium in front of the microphone so he can let Judge Glanville have it. Okay? Let's get to it.
This is the second time that this honorable court in front of the jury has addressed me inappropriately and wrongly. Second time. The first time I gave the state discovery of a song from a Super Bowl. Weeks before, there was an objection. You assumed that I didn't give it to the state. I didn't want to embarrass the court. So you were yelling at me and saying, do you understand me? Do you understand me? And instead of saying, do you understand that you're wrong? I sat here and I said, yes, Your Honor. That was to protect the integrity of this courtroom and the court. Now you say in front of the jury how unprepared I am. I am not unprepared for anything.
Okay,
I have no. I need to make a record. Your Honor,
Mr. Steele, wait a second.
Record.
When you keep delaying, okay, and that's what's happening to the court. You keep delaying and elongating and pushing out these particular our ability to present a seamless case in front of the jury. That's my purview as a judge. And I've asked you a number of times, you and your colleagues on both sides, to go ahead and listen to whatever it is you need to do, prepare me as needed. Now, I asked you those two particular questions because if they turned over the audio to you in discovery and you've listened to them already, then you either have an objection or you don't have an objection. And I was trying to solicit from you whether or not we could just go ahead and just hear it. So you can imagine my frustration because all these little.
All right. Now that was the first. That was him. That was when Brian Steele first walked up to the joint. He started turning up though. Trust me. You know, if you didn't see the whole thing, you know, I'm not gonna show you the whole thing because this was a good 15-minute rant. I am gonna show you the part where he's like, yo, I'm a motion for you to step down because this is out of hand. Let's get that rolled up because Steele has had enough with Judge Glanville and his biases. He has had enough with Judge Glanville and his biases. Let's get right to it. Give me a second, guys. Sorry. Okay, he has had it up to here with Glanville and his biases. Now, let's get right to it.
And this happens. Today alone, the state introduced 2 exhibits. I've never been given them before, ever. You know what I did? No problem. No problem. because I think that's professional. One was a Google map. It needs to be clarified for the record that it was not done on September 11, 2013. And then a map with little dots with 0.4 miles. I've never seen before. But I didn't do anything, Your Honor. I want to move the case. But when the court, it gives me no pleasure in saying this. I believe that this honorable court is biased against Mr. Williams and or his counsel. And I ask you to consider recusing yourself, or don't do this again to me. This is inappropriate to me. I respect you, but what am I supposed to do? Sit there while you do this? I didn't do anything wrong. I did exactly what you teach me to do and the courts teach me to do.
All right.
But instead, no, I got to finish this. Then I get told to this court says by Prosecutor Love that I'm not being candid with the court and I'm misrepresenting because Mr. Bean never went to the hospital at Grady on September 11, 2013, and Miss Love has a document on the desk to prove it. I sat right in front of Your Honor at the table, at the bench, and I said, I'd be careful what you say. That's not accurate. Miss Love looked down on me and she said, it is accurate. You said, we'll take a break, figure it out. After the break, you didn't even bat an eye. Ms. Love said, yeah, I was totally wrong. Mr. Steele's right. He was taken to Grady. If I would have done that and called another member of the bar disingenuous, not truthful, no candor, and misrepresenting, you would have had me yelling in front of a jury. You did nothing. You didn't even ask Ms. Love to apologize. I don't want her apology.
I don't care about Miss Love.
I don't care about Ms.
You
Love.
went crazy.
But I care about the court. And now if you can walk in someone else's shoes just for a minute and see what you're doing to Mr. Williams, because it's hurtful. I'm not the one wasting time. I'm here every day ready to go. I am not wasting the time. I make a motion to ask you to please recuse yourself. I know it has to be in writing within 5 days. If you want me to do that, I'll do it. And it has to go to another judge. But this is what's going on, Your Honor, whether you see it or not. You're yelling at me in front of a jury for...
Okay. Here we go. So listen, so y'all heard it, and it when he's listen, I forgot to even get the clip. Attorney Love stood up, she said she had an objection. My boy Brian Steele said, I don't care about her objection. I'm talking to the court right now. Like when you have somebody objecting and you saying you don't care about nobody, like Brian Steele was sick. He was really tripping. Shout out to Attorney Griggs in the chat, man. That's a VIP right there. President of the Atlanta chapter of the NAACP. Y'all say what's up to Attorney Griggs right now. A true justice fighter. He's not playing no games when it comes to that justice thing. I interviewed him a few years ago. So Attorney Steele is fed up. He's saying that pretty much what Judge Glanville is doing is putting this cloud around the entire defense, especially Mr. Williams. When he keeps on going at Brian Steele this way, it tricks the jury's mind into thinking, dang, Young Thug, that's just a bad lawyer. He's not defending him properly. And honestly, Brian Steele, like I said, I've never seen, and we should see attorneys fight like this, but in a criminal trial, I have not seen anybody lay their life on the line for Jeffrey Williams like Brian Steele is doing. Brian Steele he been for real. When they bring up Young Thug's name, he is up and activated. He is not playing no games. Excuse me, I just made the mic peak out crazy. Brian Steele is, up and he's super activated. When anybody mention Young Thug, they mention Jeff, Lil Jeff, Jeffrey. If any mention of any one of his monikers comes up, Brian Steele is up and going. TTG. So that's how you want when you pay a lawyer as much money as I'm sure Young Thug is paying Brian Steele, that's how you want your lawyer to act. Your lawyer going at a judge. I mean, I've never seen a lawyer talk to a judge like that in the middle of a trial. Have y'all ever seen that before? And I'm not saying Brian Steele is wrong. I'm saying that I've never seen it. You know what I'm saying? That is very bold of him. And salute to him for earning his check. And there's no telling what that check is, because, boy, I know Thug had to. Now, when Thug gets out of all this, no matter what, I don't think Thug will do any extraneous or any elongated time in prison. He got to tell a story of just how much money did it cost for a defense team like that. I just got to know. Yeah, but it got to be a $3 million man. This has to, this. There's no way this case is going to cost Thug less than 7 figures. There's no way. I can't see it, but I don't really know what it costs to defend a case like this. So there's no telling. But the amount of investigating, the amount of private investigators they've been having to do, the amount of just digging that they have had to do to defend this, to properly prepare for this trial, man, I can't imagine what Brian Steele's team has had to put together to defend this. Now, so y'all heard, and of course, Judge Glanville immediately denied that motion to recuse himself. Of course, why would I recuse myself? I'm gonna run this trial how I think it's running. And you heard what he said. Everything in this courtroom is within my purview. So I have to make sure that this trial runs smoothly and as quickly as possible. We got this jury. And he kind of blamed Brian Steele for dragging this stuff out, which is extremely odd because all of this stuff is being dragged out by the state. And again, I'm not biased against the state. Y'all heard me show love to Simone Hilton and Adrian Love plenty of times on here. But this is clearly being dragged out by the state. Attorney Griggs said above that some people are saying this trial could take it till 2027. Can y'all imagine? What was this, a 64 count indictment? Can y'all, if they take 1 month for every one of these criminal scenarios like this one here, because they've been going at this one incident for how long? A month and a half? How long is this? They've been talking about this one incident right here. Y'all realize this is the same incident since, did it start at the end of January? Talking about this? This has been going on for a long time. One incident. How many witnesses have we seen? Adrian Bean himself was on the stand for 3 weeks in real time and like 7 days in trial time. What are we doing? What are they trying to do to the jury? What are they trying to do to us as viewers? What are they trying to do to the judge? Are they thinking if we stretch this thing out, Young Thug will run out of money and no longer be able to defend himself? I'm really trying to understand. Even some of the public defenders on the defense side are struggling for air right now. Excuse me. They're like, when Misty Williams said, like, I can't do this anymore, like, let me off this case, I've never seen any. I mean, we know that some lawyers do drop you, but from just because she's just overwhelmed with the amount of stuff going on and she can't do anything else with her life, I've never seen that. So I don't know what, like, the state is clearly the ones dragging this thing out. It's not Brian Steele with his objections. First of all, the state objects way more than Brian Steele does. Right? So, and I've seen somebody say Brian Steele keep objecting to everything, but I haven't seen it like that at all. I feel like Attorney Love has been letting it fly when it comes to the objections. So let me check this thing out real quick and see what else. Okay. So like I said, they ended up playing the 3 jail calls for Detective Quinn. They asked him to give clarity on some of the stuff, which I still don't understand how, I still don't see how that. And they said they need to bring DK to court. I remember, if y'all remember me talking about this a few weeks, or I guess a couple months ago at this point, after Trontavia Stevens got off the stand, they had a little sidebar discussion about Walter Murphy and if there was a possible need to impeach him before he even testified. Because I guess they seen Trontavia Stevens' testimony and they said, we have to prepare ourselves now, because if every defendant, if every former crimee comes on his stand and testifies like Trontavia Stevens did, we're going to have to impeach pretty much everybody. And we really don't have much of a case beyond, these recordings that we have. So Walter Murphy is 100% coming. And I think he should be coming up very soon in this instance right here, because he's involved. He was shot. He was there. He was supposedly the one shooting at Dirty Red. And so Walter Murphy is coming very soon. That's another star witness, because he has been said to be one of the founders. They say there's Thug, Walter Murphy, and Trontavia Stevens as the founders of YSL. Now, is it founders of YSL the street gang or founders of YSL the label? We don't know. But we do know that those other 2 names are not related to the label at all. So you have to use deductive reasoning there. But Walter Murphy is coming up, and that's going to be one of those ones also, just like Trontavia Stevens and just like Adrian Bean, it's going viral. Whatever Walter Murphy gets up there and says, it's going viral. So y'all just be ready for it. because we got another movie coming. You understand? I don't even know how else to describe it. It will be eventful. Okay, so be on the lookout. Walter Murphy is coming up. Yeah, DK was Killer One said DK was the start of the madness, but the way that Adrian Bean is trying to tell it, which we don't believe, I don't believe him. He's trying to tell it that Young Thug is the start of it because Thug is the one that said, "I just seen Red over there with $15,000. We need to go get it," and that's where chaos ensues from there.